Hello and welcome to News Pulse. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. The state governments will be paying an amount of rupees 50,000 each to the families of those who died of COVID. The centre informed the Supreme Court today. Compensation will be paid against not only the deaths that already occurred, but for future ones as well. The Supreme Court on Wednesday rejected the centre's plea to defer the first National Defence Academy exam for women candidates, saying it doesn't want women to be denied their right. India is likely to allow a smaller gap between Covishield, the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine doses, for inoculations being carried out privately in line with the court order. Three pigs have tested positive for African swine fever in Tripura, informed by K. Sasikumar, Director of Animal Resources Development Department. Now for the news in details. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain on September 22 stated that the national capital has reported 87 dengue cases and from September 1st to September 19 so far. This year, 87 dengue cases were reported in September, that is from September 1st to September 19, Jain said. During the previous year, it was 188, the minister informed. The number of dengue cases is lower than the previous years in the month of September, he said. The government is fully prepared to fight against dengue, said Satyendra Jain. Three pigs have tested positive for African swine fever in Tripura, informed by K. Sasikumar, Director of Animal Resources Development Department. 3 of 87 samples of pigs tested positive for African swine fever, and all the pigs were culled within 1 kilometer from the epicenter and declared 10-kilometer area as surveillance zone, Sasikumar said. Notifications have been issued and the culling process has begun, said K. Sasikumar.
We had received some reports on some symptoms shown by pigs in Kanchanpur pig farm in the last week of August. So accordingly, we collected the samples. We sent 87 samples to Northeast Regional Disease Diagnostic Lab for testing whether the disease is African swine fever or classical swine fever. Unfortunately, out of 87 samples sent, 3 samples were tested positive for African swine fever. So as per the protocol, we will have to cull all the pigs in 1 kilometer radius from the epicenter, and 10-kilometer radius we will have to declare as surveillance zone.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, leaving for his 3-day visit to the US this morning, called it an occasion to strengthen our strategic partnership with the US and consolidate ties with Japan and Australia. The Prime Minister will participate in the first in-person summit of Quad leaders, address the United Nations General Assembly, and also meet with Joe Biden for the first time since his election as US President. My visit to the US would be an occasion to strengthen the comprehensive global strategic partnership with USA, consolidate relations with our strategic partners Japan and Australia, and to take forward our collaboration on important global issues, Prime Minister Modi said in his departure statement. The Prime Minister said his UN General Assembly address would focus on pressing global challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the need to combat terrorism, and climate change. He said in his meeting with President Biden, he would review the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership and exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. As the Naga peace talks progresses in what might seem like a swift manner, the core committee on Naga political issue of the state government held another crucial meet with top leaders of the NSC and IM today, September 22, at the police complex Tumukidima, Dimapur. This was their second meet with the faction, the first being on July 21st. The last 3 days have witnessed very crucial meets between top leaders of the NSC and IM and the government of Nagaland, including with the state's new interlocutor A.K. Mishra, and also very interestingly Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, who is also the convener of BJP floated North-East Democratic Alliance. As the core committee headed by Chief Minister of Nagaland Nifu Rio treads along for an early solution, all negotiating parties have yet to come together across one table.
Good meeting. We have update each other about the latest political situation. Now, new interlocutor A.K. Mishra has come yesterday, and along with that, NEDA convener, and who is also the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, also he came yesterday, and then they met leadership also, for which now we need to have a better coordination among us. We are trying our best to bring the people together, and we are telling them today we have sent a message that you must resume talk at the earliest. So that was the message which we have sent to them from the parliamentary core committee to the IM leadership. We will try our best so that if they can come and sit together, it's best. You see, when it is going to be one solution, then from any corner, they also have to come together. But earlier also we have signed, you see, the covenant of reconciliation. They have almost come together. The only thing is there are sometimes differences are there, but this can be resolved. There was a communication gap only, I would say. If we can come across the table, then we understand each other.
In connection to this, we also have a top senior NSC and IM leader, Daniel Lotha, over the phone right now and possibly shed some light on the recent developments. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Thanks for speaking with us, Hornbill TV. First, direct to the point. Can you tell us a bit in a nutshell of what was discussed today at the meeting of the core committee and what developments has come about?
Regarding all this issue, we have entrusted our surrogate Adam to discuss with this media. It's not me. So I think it will be better if you can contact us, Adam. I think that will be the right person to there's a clear cap all this issue.
Okay, so today's meeting you cannot disclose anything of what happened, what was discussed.
No, I wasn't present in the meeting.
Okay, sir. And okay, so coming next to the question, is the NSC and IM ready to come at one table with other negotiating groups?
That is also not my topic. We have entrusted the writing for that very issue.
Okay, sir.
So I think it will be better if you can contact me.
Okay, sir. And as a senior leader, do you feel the new interlocutor will fare in bridging this long time, gap? Are you confident in the new interlocutor, A.K. Mishra?
Yeah, we are having a full confidence on him that he will take up to the last, so that he can amicably solve the issue.
Okay.
Through mutual understanding.
All right, sir. In a recent press conference, Nikki Sumi of the NSCNK said that his group has no demands now, but will wait till the framework agreement is signed by the NSC and IM and perhaps have some additions to it. What is your take on that?
We are all Naga, so we should come together for one solution. There was only one agreement for Naga,
yes.
For Naga solution. So that's why we are waiting for them to come into Naga. That's all.
Okay, sir. Do you have any idea on when the next meeting might be held?
No any idea. We haven't informed yet.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking with us. With little to no support from the state government when it comes to sports, not to forget the poor infrastructure available in the state for young sports persons, Nagaland's football pros aren't quite optimistic about the future of the sport. With incomplete stadiums and arenas to run down sports centers, the future of sports does look blurry. James Kitan and Kivi Zimomi have made quite a stir after appearing on a popular YouTube channel's talk show, stating that going professional in Nagaland is a complete no due to the state government's disinterest in taking sports seriously, saying that one should only focus on their studies if the government continues this way. Well, we have professional football player James Kitan on the phone with us. Hi, James. Thanks for speaking with us.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, your comment on a popular talk show on YouTube has gained a lot of attention. You said that one ought to just focus on studies instead of trying to go professional in any sport, I suppose. But what did you actually mean by that?
Actually, see, like, there are a lot of problems facing, like in Nagaland, especially like with the sports thing, So just if we see from the bottom, like, it's almost a year, like even the state stadium it's not complete yet. And then, like we can't even force the youngsters, to give them hope, like, like you should be professional, train like a professional or do something. But then if the government doesn't help with the small academics in the district or something like that, it's very difficult to the youngsters, to promote them in the future, like, future life also, it's very difficult for them.
Okay, so you're saying that they should just concentrate on studies and do well and fare well in that instead of concentrating on sports if the government does not support.
Yeah, that's true. I would suggest that only because, like, see, one thing, like, we have been, like, even in my career, like, it's been almost 9 years I've completed, like, playing professional.
Yes.
But then, like, I didn't see any encouragement from the government side or even from the, from the football association side or something like that. Even me and Kiwi also, I don't appreciate or something like that. I didn't get any appreciation. So, it's very difficult. Playing in the highest level, like, National League, in I-League, but still not getting the appreciation. It's very
discouraging.
Discouraging for us, so that's the only thing. So I should say, like, if the government is going to be like this, and then, like, if they don't establish, like a youth development in Nagaland for the sports and all, like, I think, like, it's better for them to go for the studies and then get a better job, instead of suffering, and giving trouble to their parents also.
Yes. Okay, and according to you, in all honesty, what does the future look like in regard to sports in Nagaland?
As I've already told you, like, for me, like, now I don't see any future because we don't have a proper league out there in Nagaland, which has to be done. Actually there was a league around 2011 or 2012. There was a Nagaland Premier League.
Right.
So there was something good was going on that time. But then after that, what happened? I don't know. The NPL collapsed, and then, like, recently we had a DFA tournament in district, Kohima Football League. And then because of the pandemic, it's all closed down. And then now the DDL is about to start again, the second season.
Right.
So thinking all these things, like, football is coming up, but then, like, there should be support by the government also. Like, especially we should have a different district league, especially first of all.
Yes. Okay.
And then we should have a a state league also, so that, like, we can search for the young talents,
Yes, and
like
take it forward, yes.
Yeah.
What or how has been the best support from the government, has given you in your football career? Have they even showed the slightest bit of interest? I mean, considering you have reached such a high place?
No, for me, no, I don't think so. They have done the thing in my career till now. Whatever I am now, it's all because of my hard work. It's all because of me, and then the blessing of God. It's like that. But helping from the government, I don't think so. There's any like that.
Okay. In in terms of football, how do you think that it is actually just staying afloat right now in Nagaland? How are you guys managing just to have all these leagues and small tournaments and all? Is it a community and is there any support from the government when it comes to even these small leagues that you all have or tournaments that you guys have?
See, as I've told you, like, to play in Nagaland is very difficult, See, most of the players, like, out there in Nagaland, like, there are a lot of good and talented players, okay? But then, how they are surviving? They're just playing, like, a small tournament, like, get paid with, some small amount of money, and then they're happy with it.
Right.
You know, but most of all, I think like it should be like, you know, a proper infrastructure for the clubs, or you know, for the clubs to, and then I mean to say, like, there should be a club, and then like obviously the government should establish a Premier League or State League, something like that.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So that like the players also can have a contract with the clubs and all, so that they can have a good payment,
Right.
and then, you know, like look after their families and all, you know. But out now, like I don't think like the players are really, you know, doing their things, because it's very difficult for them like to earn a small money, and then like you know, just like that.
Okay. Just finally, you know, last year also, if I'm not mistaken, there was a football ground inaugurated in Kohima. It was top of the art football ground, top notch football ground. And but what is happening to that? Any idea of whether tournaments are being held, or people are given the opportunity to use that football ground?
For me, I don't have any knowledge about this, you know, but then like I heard like, you know, some of the tournaments are going out there, you know. Obviously Dr. Tiao has been, you know, played out there in IG Stadium. And then also like I think like upcoming tournament, the NSF also it's gonna held out there.
Okay.
So it's good, like, you know, like if the tournaments are coming up, you know, like,
Yeah.
and then this thing.
All right. On a last note, do you have anything, you know, of words of encouragement to, you know, give to the young viewers and young upcoming sports persons?
Yeah, I've always told them, and I've always told them, and like I would like to tell them again and again, like, you know, it's very difficult like to be a professional in Nagaland, you know. But then if me and TV can, you know, like pull up ourselves like into the highest level, you know, without the support of the government, you know,
Okay.
they can also do it. They just need to, you know, work hard, more double than the, you know, they are working now these days or something like that. They need to believe in themselves, you know, like, and then they need to have a lot of sacrifice, you know. They need to sacrifice a lot to get up to that level. So I would tell them, like, you know, just don't give a hope, like, you know, just do your thing. And then let's hope for the best from the government, like, you know, like at least they could, if they hear our voice, like, just please do something for the Nagaland sports, you know. That's all.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, James, for speaking with us. Good luck for your future endeavors.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
In other news, India is likely to allow a smaller gap between Covishield, the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine doses for inoculations being carried out privately, in line with a court order, two sources told Reuters. Private hospitals and clinics will give their paying patients the option to receive their second dose of the vaccine 4 weeks after the first, down from between 12 and 16 weeks currently, they said. Earlier this month, the High Court in the southern state of Kerala ordered changes in the Health Ministry's vaccine booking platform to give people paying for vaccination this choice, which is already being offered to those flying abroad. India doubled the gap between the AstraZeneca vaccine's 2 doses in May to make sure more people were inoculated with at least 1 dose when supplies were scarce at the height of the country's outbreak this year. A study of 150 patients hospitalized for COVID in the US at the beginning of the pandemic found that 73% had delirium, a serious disturbance in the mental state wherein a person is confused, agitated, and unable to think clearly. The study, published in the journal BMJ Open, found that patients with delirium tended to be sicker with more comorbidities like hypertension and diabetes and appeared to have more severe COVID-related illness. The researchers used patient medical records and telephone surveys following hospital discharge for a group of patients hospitalized in the intensive care unit between March and May 2020. They attempted to identify common threads amongst patients who developed delirium. The researchers noted that the disease itself can lead to reduced oxygen to the brain as well as the development of blood clots and stroke, resulting in cognitive impairment. Inflammatory markers were greatly increased in patients with delirium. Confusion and agitation could be a result of inflammation of the brain, they said. The Indian Army displayed firepower in Bikaner, Rajasthan with latest weapons and tanks. Exercise was conducted using T-90 Bhishma, T-72, K-9 Vajra, 130 mm guns and bridging systems. Union Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Ashwini Kumar Choube, has informed that the central government is working towards providing a package of rupees 1,450 crore through the Asian Development Bank for developing Loktak Lake as an eco-tourism project.
Without the development of Manipur and northeastern states, development of the country is meaningless, he said during his two-day visit to the state. Choube, who arrived here on a two-day state visit on Tuesday, went to the Loktak Lake and then to Kaibul Lamjau National Park. Later, he met Governor La Ganeshan and Chief Minister N. Biren Singh at their respective official residences. A press briefing and felicitation program was conducted at Hotel Classic, North AOC, which was attended by eminent sportspersons including Olympians and officials from the government departments. 15 sportspersons including Olympians, coaches and medalists were felicitated by the Union Minister at the program.
That's all for the news from News Pulse. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.